I'm Danielle. I'm with LA Examiner. Hi.
LA
Good to
Examiner.
see you guys. So Rob, if I could start with you for a second. You were just on Shameless.
Yes.
So, and I think it's a very different character from what you've been known for in Supernatural world and some of your other roles. And can you talk a little bit about what it was like to work on that show and if you'll be going back?
No plans to go back at this point, but it was incredible to work on because I got to work with, I guess you call him Bill Macy if you know him, but I feel like an a-hole if I say that. But you know, William Macy, H. Macy was just incredible. Like he wrote the episodes, and he was there. Like for every, yeah. So he was there for the whole time, and I actually talked to him a lot. He's one of those guys where he's just you want to pick his brain and just find out what's going on with him. So it's a great learning experience, and that was just super fun to work on. It's such good writing, and it was the characters were maybe a little more. Yeah, it was just maybe a little different direction for me. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a doctor and have an office, which is not really
he's a little shifty.
Yeah, he's shifty doctor. But yeah, it was good. It was really great.
Nice.
I was really eager to work on that show. So.
And for all of you, I mean, it's been a little while since we've seen you guys on Supernatural. So can you talk a little bit about what your plans are now, what you're working on, what you got coming up? Pilot season's pretty intense.
Pilot season is well underway. It's probably one of the busier pilot seasons I feel like already in the last 3 or 4 years. I just finished 90210 at the end of last year, and I'm in development on a script right now that I'm kind of co-writing and co-developing with a friend of mine, Leah Ehlers. And that's about it. Besides that, a lot of auditioning.
Yeah, it's the season for that. I just finished working on this show called Touch, the new Kiefer Sutherland show.
Nice.
That's going to air at the end of March. And another great show, like really good writing. I think I have high hopes for that being a good show. It was a really cool part. Again, kind of a different role for me. I played a homeless guy.
Actually, that's kind of right in your wheelhouse.
Right? I was laughing that I walked into the audition room and they were like, yes, homeless, got it.
Don't even speak, you're perfect.
Yeah, so. Rich, what about you, Rich?
I have worked on Justified, which is coming out. My episode is coming up shortly.
Just finished shooting a short film.
Just finished shooting a short film that I wrote and directed, and I'm signed on to a Civil War miniseries that's supposed to start in the next coming months called Two Epimatics. So.
That's cool.
What's that? We never talk. See, I know. I'm like, you're going Shameless? Oh my God! Excuse me. Wow.
What network is that on? The miniseries?
That's being produced Sun's network. Like the Tudors was. It's a Sony production, but they're not doing it. They're not signing with a network. They will sell after the fact.
Wow.
Which is
A lot of people are doing that now.
It's kind of the new model. If you can fund it yourself.
A lot of Justified people are in that. Nick Searcy and Walton Goggins.
Yeah, they are. There are.
Oh, cool.
It's a cast of 9 million. I mean, it's the Civil War, so it's a lot of people. Unfortunately, there's nothing for you.
But I wasn't.
But everyone else, I think.
Everyone else.
No homeless people.
But Rob.
And a homeless doctor, man.
So are you guys at a point where you wouldn't have time to go back to Supernatural if they asked?
I would do Supernatural in a heartbeat. It's a great. I mean, for my character, it's my favorite character I've ever played. Bar none. It's the duality of the character. It's the kind of opportunity you don't get as a guest star on a show. So I would do it again in a heartbeat. However, I think I'm pretty dead.
No one's ever really dead.
Well, I might be.
That's the thing about a show like this. You never really know. Like haven't you died twice?
I've died twice. I've come back twice, and
I died in every episode I did.
It's fantastic. It's great. But I think like Richard said, I mean. The fact that Supernatural, and we talk about this often, like pretty much every time we get together at these conventions, is that the guest star writing for the guest stars is it's thick, it's impressive, it's just super meaty, and there's duality, and I mean most of the characters are you're lucky enough as an actor to play 2 characters in 1 character. It's a dream come true.
The other thing that's interesting about the Supernatural world is, and this applies to all 3 of us here. We're so involved in this series because of the conventions that in our heads, it doesn't compute that we don't do the show.
Yeah.
I'm so involved. I know all the guys. We've never acted together.
Right.
Like we know each other from this world.
Never been on a show together.
No, but it's so funny because I feel so connected to the show. The world of Supernatural is so part of my day-to-day life, the convention circuit, and which takes up a lot of your time, and it's great. It involves a lot of your, you travel and you're there, and it's fun, and you hang out with the guys, and then you kind of realize, I have no association with the show whatsoever. I'm not, so it's a weird disconnect between the two.
Yeah.
That would be also one of the reasons why it'd be fun to do the show again, is sort of to reconnect with why we're all here. So,
yeah.
I have a question specifically for Matt.
Thanks, Danielle. Good to see you.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Guys.
Thank you.
Your character, the John Winchester character, the young John Winchester character, there's a persistent rumor, I'm sure you've heard this many times now. Are you at all trying to push for the idea of perhaps starting a prequel series?
I absolutely am. 100%. As much as you can, I guess, push for anything in this town is really about you believing in something, and if somebody else believes in it, then yeah, I'm game for it 100%. I think, I've worked for the CW a couple of times now. I'm pretty familiar with those people there, and whether it's coming back to Supernatural and to have the honor of working with these guys who've now become like my buddies that we do Q&As together, and I just think, oh, well, what kind of chemistry we would have doing a scene together would be great, or it being some kind of new, young John, young Mary spin-off show. Either thing is, I'd be more than satisfied.
So is the network hinted maybe in that direction?
The network hasn't hinted. I mean, there's been a lot of fan talk, but to be honest with you, fan talk is, you could consider it just kind of, gossip and whatnot, or you can consider it as real as the next thing. I mean, I recently won a poll online for a new fantasy series, and it was between myself, Kellen Lutz, Zac Efron, and Hayden Christensen for the lead in a new movie called Rune Lords. And this is an 8-part book series right now, and they're talking about a huge picture deal. And so I won this thing online from the fan voting, and the executive producer called yesterday and wants a meeting. So
congratulations.
This is out of this is strictly based on the fan support from this Supernatural show and convention and the activity of these guys online. So, as far as there being a spinoff that happens because of the fans, yeah, I think it's absolutely a possibility. I would love to be a part of.
It's a Gabriel and Chuck sitcom.
that's a given, right? I mean,
they're roommates.
That writes itself. That's not as fan driven as it is Rob driven.
Yeah.
I know you and I started a few online. No one signed on yet, but they're going to. An avalanche.
You guys got my vote for sure.
Did you guys, before you started doing the convention scene, did you have an opinion of what that was? Did you know it existed?
Have you ever seen The Wrestler?
No. Oh, yes.
You know the scene where Mickey Rourke is sitting at a table by himself in a gymnasium, and people kind of mosey in and buy his DVD, and that's what I thought it was. I did. I got asked to do a convention, and I've been doing this for a long time. We all have, and no show I've ever done has had a convention associated with it. So when somebody called and said, "Would you do a convention for the show?" I thought, Lord, no. I don't understand. Why would I? I'll go to stand there and I'll say, "Meet Richard Speight Jr." and people just shuttle past. I'll be going.
Yeah,
I think that's all about fears.
I was really nervous about that because I didn't know the show had that kind of following. It never would occur to me that an episode of something I did a year before would still be relevant to the fan base. That kind of thing just didn't compute because it was totally new to my world. And like I say, it wasn't. We weren't new to the industry, but that's a very specific. These genre shows that have convention followings are very unique unto themselves. And then even within that world, Supernatural is lightning in a bottle as far as its convention success and the strength of its fan base. So it would be impossible to predict that would be that we'd be having this conversation this many years after doing episodes. So I was very apprehensive, and I kind of went into it kicking and screaming. I finally agreed to do one in Chicago several years ago, and was just blown away. It was blown away by it's such a positive experience. I mean, you're walking into a hotel full of people who love your work. Who wouldn't want to do that every now and then? So it's pretty great. I mean, it's great, but it's nothing like I expected.
And now you're going to Italy, all three of you?
Yeah. I'm not going to Italy.
No, I know you two guys are.
We are.
Well, then they'll have to just change it around.
Honestly, Pete, though, there's so many. I mean,
there's so many.
We all do. We're all slated to do a bunch of conventions, and there are so many conventions. I actually don't think physically you can run a family and run a business and do every convention they have out there. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. And we do a lot of, I know we overlap, the three of us see each other a lot.
Yeah.
But then every now and then, I'll see you and you go, oh, I'm going down to Rio. I'm like, oh, okay, well, have a good one. And then I'll be there, and then Rob and I are going to London. And then it's a big, everybody changes around so much, and it all is a big swirling mix of similar people. I mean, we see a lot of the same guys at these things, but it's kind of like, you farm out a couple of guys. All right, you cover that country, we'll cover this country.
This region.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the evolution of the karaoke party? Because we're from the fan site WinchesterRose.com.
Hi.
And so, we've been to a lot of the conventions, and the karaoke parties used to be really boring until you guys started. Can you tell us how that...
Yeah, I can. Let's talk about this a little bit. This is the thing. The karaoke party, when I started, going back to that first convention in Chicago, the karaoke party was an event we had to go to. The actors it was part of the contract. You had to go for an hour. It was in the bar of the hotel. And you'd walk in, and it wasn't just, the bar wasn't closed off, so there are also, lawyers going to a meeting the next day, so I don't know what the hell's going on. And so you had basically fans, it was just a place for fans to go and have a drink.
Yeah.
And they had karaoke set up. That was kind of it. And the actors, at least when I was there, weren't involved in on the on stage. And quite frankly, you got in and out of there as fast as you could. You go in, you do your hour, you get out. Then, because it was crowded and it was, I wasn't going to sing and it just sort of seemed awkward. Then, a couple of shows later, they said on my assignment list, when I get, my list of what I'm going to be doing, that I'm hosting the karaoke party. And I thought, bleepity mother bleep, I don't want to, I hate the stupid bleep. I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. And it was as bad as I thought it would be. It was worse. We were in that main hall, and this is when you weren't, this predates you getting involved. Right. It was me and Catherine and Aldous, I think, and it was, everybody sat in their assigned seats. It was like a church talent show. Where the church had no talent in the entire congregation, and you had this weird. We're all like, they're like, next up is Charles. Charles came up, it was like this awkward silence. Charles walks in, sings the rose. And we're like, all right, well done, Charles. Next up, and it's like, oh my god, it's a nightmare. And the next time we did it, which is when Matt was there, and I don't remember what city, Vancouver or somewhere. I said, dude, trust me, this is a train wreck. We gotta switch this shit around. We just had no choice because this is gonna, it sucks the energy right out of this whole thing. And so we literally went on stage and we said, look, I know creation says you gotta sit in your seats. I know there are rules surrounding this. Bleep the rules. This is our show. Move the seats. Asses down front.
We really took control of it from the system.
And you could see the fan base kind of going, really? I paid for a real shitty seat back there. I could come up there? Okay. And that kind of freedom to do what they want to do and have fun and sort of interact with the people. And we didn't care that they were close, so then they felt comfortable being up there. And quite frankly, that was as far as our efforts went. Then it became word of mouth in the fan base. Because then, the next time we did it, there was twice as many people there. Then, there was 4 times as many people there. Then, we started doing, we sat down with creation. They're like, look, let's put a theme on it. Let's bring guys. We have actors, Rob's a perfect example in Nashville, I think, who aren't signed up to be at the karaoke party, who show up. Mm-hmm. Last night we had Tim Amundsen, we had from Psych, and we had Michael Cudlitz from Southland, who showed up because they're buddies, but they've seen this thing online, but I gotta check this out. It's taken on a life of its own as this giant party, and creation has wisely kept it free. And it's free for everybody, so you don't even have to be a paying member of the convention.
And that's a big part of why it's so successful.
Yeah, because that's the fun part. If you love the show, or if you just happen to be a Rob Benedict fan, either one, you can come and hang out.
Yeah.
You can come do the thing. You can get up and sing. And we're there. People get on stage, take pictures. There's no no, we can't do photos. It's a free-for-all. It's film.
And by letting everybody kind of come up and be part of it, it's not like, we've named it the Dick and Matt's karaoke experience with special guests. It's become all these things. And so these the fans come up now and they take over. They become rock stars in kind of like their own form.
Yeah.
You know, like they're up there with rock singers and great actors, and they're, you know, people are singing with them to them. It's just it's really become just like a nice
great
thing.
interaction.
Has anybody? You guys have been to